Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here from guitarjams.com. Happy to bring you some more lessons. It's going to be a fun little fireside chat, if you will. Basically, what I did was I put a thing on Facebook, on the Guitar Jams Facebook page. There's a link down there. I said I'm going to pick 5 blues-oriented questions to answer in videos. So I'm going to make 5 different videos here, and each one of the questions that I picked, that person gets to win my blues masterclass, which there's a link right down there, so you can check that out. In fact, I'm also going to pick one comment from this video to win that set as well. Here's the first question. Her name was Carolyn Poff, and she asks, I want to learn more on string bending and vibrato techniques. And I know that's a question that a lot of people want tips on. So we're going to zoom in. I'm going to just talk about some basic bending and vibrato techniques. And hopefully a bunch of you guys will get something out of that. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about string bending and a little bit about vibrato. Some of the things with the string bending, one is knowing which notes are good to bend, typically. So like, for instance, the basic pentatonic, you got the G string right there. But if you try and bend down here, all of a sudden it sounds off. So the G string's pretty typical there in that position. The other one, bending the B string up to the root. And then in this position as well, the high E. So a couple of tips. One, using the strength of all 3 fingers kind of glued together. So if I'm bending the G string here on the 7th fret, I'm not thinking of it as this finger alone. I'm using all 3 and the strength of all 3 combined together. So you're going to be more accurate and more strong. The other thing is digging in with the very tip or tips of your finger. So not, if it's back on your finger, it's much harder to get that leverage going, right? But if my fingers are bent down like this and the very tip of it is on that string, then I can straighten out my fingers, all 3 of them, and push that string up really with the very tips of my fingers. Okay? Same thing here. But there's going to be times where your index finger's in the action on something else. So then, if you have to, you think of just 2 fingers. But the strength of fingers together is really what helps you control the bend really well. And the very tips of the fingers as well. The last thing I would say about bending is practice using, bending is really using your ear. So you want to play the notes that you're bending up to test your bending. So if I'm bending this B string up a whole step, up to the root, then I want to hear the note that I'm trying to reach with that bend. Find it. Same thing here. G string here. And that goes for any notes. Those were the like classic blues bends. But you know, if you're getting more into other scales, so you know the half step. If there's a half step spot in the scale, you can do that half step bend to it. And the other thing on that G string where you have that blues note right there, you can do it with a bend instead. And if you are going to bend, for instance, the lower strings, I tend to pull down. Because if you try to bend it up to the pitch, you're going to run out of fret. So like, but just personally, I don't bend the lower strings that much as far as like a whole step. I'll do little quarter tone bends like, but I don't typically do like the standard bend like I would on the G, B, and high E. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the elusive vibrato. Lots of questions about vibrato, and I did a guitar clinic with my mate, Justin Sanderco. I've done a few of them now. And that was another topic that those students were asking about as well. They really want to work on their vibrato. I can say from a personal standpoint, my vibrato improved just with playing and listening, and playing some more and listening to my favorite music some more, and just letting it evolve. So it wasn't one of those things I necessarily, you know, put the timer on. It's like, okay, for the next 10 minutes I'm going to work on vibrato. It wasn't like that at all. It's just the better I got at guitar playing, the better all my tools got. So like vibrato, for instance, you know, if you're still trying to learn a scale or you're not that experienced with your licks, your vibrato, you know, doesn't need to be this amazing thing, you know. In other words, all your little skill set kind of grows together. But just some of the things that I've had with students that have helped them with their vibrato. Now, when I do vibrato, I do it one way, and every guitar player can do it a little bit different. Like, for instance, B.B. King wiggles his whole hand and makes the string vibrate. I can't do that. And like Robin Ford says he can't do that, you know, and he's one of the greatest blues players. So, you know, you have to kind of develop your own playing and your own style. But vibrato, when you break down what the concept is, it's the string pitch, the actual sound of the string is vibrating up and down. So it is actually kind of like it's going out of tune a little bit. But you do it in time with the music. You know, just like a singer would do it. But the idea is you're not wiggling your finger up and down. You literally have to figure out a way to make that string vibrate up and down in a pleasant sound. Okay, Marty, yeah, that helped a lot, thanks. No, but that's literally what it is. If you watch a guitar player that you like a lot, like Stevie Ray Vaughan or any classic blues player, Hendrix, try and watch some of their playing in slow motion and look at that vibrato. And also, like my buddy Papa Stash, he likes to do real wide vibrato, which is kind of more of an 80s rock kind of thing. When I'm thinking of it, you know, to get that string to vibrate, I am kind of feeling the weight of the neck going like this, and me feeling the weight. I'm still, you know, got my thumb on the neck, or even my whole hand, but I'm feeling that weight of the neck vibrate off of my finger. So I'm actually feeling the weight of the neck of the guitar. So in other words, the neck's not, I couldn't really do vibrato that well if the neck was frozen. I mean, I could, but it doesn't feel as comfortable or how I just naturally did it by feeling that neck vibrating under my string. So something that you can start to work on is literally when you play a note, kind of shake the neck of the guitar, feel that weight. See, like when I'm shaking it right now, there's different pressure going back and forth onto my hand, like that. So when you hit a note or a bend, you can even just shake it right from your hand, shake the neck, but then also try and find that balance of the string vibrating off the weight of the neck as you kind of shake the neck. You know, you don't want to hold the note and shake the neck like that. You're going to feel a little bit of give in the way you're holding the neck as you shake it like that. You know, like I said, B.B. King, you know, only wiggles his hand to get it to do it. But this is kind of, you know, my approach. And vibrato and bending both, it immediately makes you sound amateurish if you bend the note out of tune, which a lot of beginner players, it's okay, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying if you bend it out of tune, it's very unpleasant sounding, and when a guy's learning to solo, they want to bend every note, and a lot of times they're just going through every note in the scale and just kind of bending it anywhere without realizing that all they're doing is just creating bad sounds each time. So think about the tips earlier in the video to really apply that. And the same thing goes for vibrato. If you're not doing it in a nice rhythm, or you're bending the string too high, it's going to sound bad. So just, you know, food for thought. Thank you for the question. Hopefully I gave you some ideas at least. And we'll see you in the next one. All right, that was the lesson. Hope you got something from that. Remember, I'm also going to pick one comment to win that Blues Masterclass set that's right down there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in another lesson real soon. Take care.